All of you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you can all mute your phones. Those who are on speakers, you can mute. Okay. Those who can open up the videos, you can open up that as well. So as I said, who are there? I can see Vaishnavi and Sreya. So this session is being recorded. Okay, so if you are not comfortable to keep the video on, you can switch off the video. I mean, yeah, if anybody is not comfortable keeping on. So be comfortable. So this class is more of an interactive session. And who's that? Sreya. Uncle, I made this. What is that picture? Is it? Oh, good. Nice. Yeah, good. Nice job. Sreya. Okay.
We had science class yesterday, so
Good job. Okay. So this is more of an interactive. Good evening, Ranjay and Sanchal. I think you're also there.
Yeah.
So welcome to the session. So those who are joining, please mute yourself unless you need to speak something. No problem. You can unmute and. So take the session as a learning session. Okay. Most of the Saturdays we keep this session so that we interact, get to know more about each other. Whatever I know, I speak. Whatever you know, you speak. So I'll also learn. You'll also learn. Okay. So your difficulties we can mutually understand and improve whatever we can do together. More than actually doing the things, spend more time on observing and picking up the right techniques and try to improve the knowledge instead of. So this is generally not intended as a practice session. Okay. Yes, you can practice, nothing wrong in doing that, but spend more of the time and energy on learning rather than actually doing. Okay. So this is what I'll suggest all of you to do. So we will first start with the prayer. Okay. And then we will go to loosening practices. Then we will do the Surya Namaskara, which all of us are doing. And then we will do each of the asanas. So I will not be doing all the rounds like now. So I'm going to spend time on explaining the finer aspects. Okay, when you practice, what are the places where we can improve? What are the places where we can correct? So those are the things that I will be touching upon. Anytime if you're not able to hear me or not able to understand, you can interrupt and ask questions, or you want to share something, you can share. All that is fine. Okay. So first we will do the mantra. So mantra, what is the meaning of mantra? Mantra, mind. Tra means to calm in Sanskrit. So anything and everything that calms the mind is a mantra. So for example, if you like a song, some melodious song which you like, and if that song calms the mind, that is also mantra. So we have to take mantra in that aspect. So when we do an omkara or recite the mantra, we have to understand the meaning of that mantra and recite. Okay, and try to involve the mind while doing the mantra. So and dedicate your time. So when we practice, dedicate that time for the practice. Okay, and try to learn the things. So first, what is the mantra? This month it is Trayambakam Yajamahi Pushti Vardhanam, that mantra. So first we will sit with the back straight. So I'll sit a little back. So sitting position, all these positions are fine. What is this position called? Anybody? This is called Sukhasana or easy posture. So you sit with the crossed legs. Some people may find it difficult to sit like this. So if you find, you can even keep legs a little straight. This is also fine, and keep the back straight. So try to keep the back straight. If you have a knee problem, you can keep the leg straight. Or you can do the folded leg position, sitting like this. So this is also fine. But here the knees will be bent and you may get a pain, some of you. So if you find this is difficult, sit in the other way. If other is difficult, sit in this way. All these positions are fine, but your back should be straight. So don't sit like this. See, when you sit like this, the back is arching. You saw this? So when you sit upright, the chest will come up. And the shoulders will be wide. And the chest will rise. So you can see the backbone becomes natural shape. So natural shape of the bone is like this. It comes like this, and in bottom there is a little here, and then tailbone comes. So try to get that original shape of the backbone. So when you sit upright like this, keeping the chest open and shoulders wide, you can see the legs, hands are free, hands are relaxed, but the back is erect. And chin is parallel to the ground, straight in front. So when all this happens, the mind becomes alert. So always use a mat while sitting. Because when you directly sit on the floor is a conductor. So either you can use cloth mats, rubber mats, all these are fine. So use a mat so that the energy, positive energy doesn't go away on the floor. That is the reason why we sit on a mat or practice on a mat. There is an insulation, right? That way. Now, what is the way to do Namaskar Mudra? So we are sitting with the back straight, chest is open, shoulder is wide. With an inhale, I need to take the arms over the head. Straighten up. And with an exhale, I bring the hands to center of the heart. Now, where is the center? This center. So some people keep like this. You can see. Now this is called Anjali Mudra. That is not Namaskara Mudra. When you do Namaskara Mudra, the hand has to come heart center. Do you see the difference of both? This is different. This is different. So when you do Namaskara Mudra, the elbows will be wide. It will not be down. So the palm will press and the elbows will be wide like this. And when you come back from Namaskara Mudra, how to bring it down? Not directly. From here, I have to inhale, take my hand up, straighten the elbow. And with an exhale, I have to bring the hands down to Dhyana Mudra. So what is this called? Dhyana Mudra. So the index finger and the thumb finger are touching. Other three fingers are not straight. It will be not inward. It will be just gently open. You don't have to stretch like this. There is no need to sit like this. Here, see, the energy is lost on the arms. Everywhere energy is lost. This is enough. Keep the arms relaxed. Keep the mudra relaxed. But the back straight. Okay. So how did we come to Namaskara Mudra? Inhaling, I took the arms over the head. When I exhaled, I brought it down to center of the heart. Then I closed the eyes. Okay. So all of us should learn the mantras. So take time to learn the mantras. You can jot it down. I also send it in the beginning of the month. The next month mantra I send. So try to learn them. Now take a full inhale, close the eyes. Like that, you have to do the Om. Then, Trayambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivardhanam urvarukamiva bandhana mrityor mukshiyamamridad. Now how to bring the hands down? I told you. Inhaling, take the arms straight through the center up. And when you exhale, the hand has to come down. So where does the hand come down? It comes to Dhyana Mudra. So while the practice is going on, you must minimize the distractions. So before the class is ready, I mean the class starts, you should do all the other things like adjustment of the mat, adjustment of our dress, like the shirts are tucked, okay, my hair is tied, so especially ladies, all these things should be ready while the class is going on. Unless something goes wrong, try to minimize the distractions while the class is going on. And the arrangement of the camera. Now I'll tell you, I'll just explain you, there are some newcomers today. Now if I start explaining to you standing like this, yes, this is the way to put the hand heart center. This is the way to look. Can you see anything what I'm telling? I'm telling something, but you can see only my legs. Upper body is not there. Let me tell you, many of the people, your video will be like this. Now, it's very difficult for the teacher to understand what you're doing. So, what did I do? So, in the beginning itself, I must keep myself in the right place. So, I ensure that before I start the class, I will ensure that my full body is visible to you. Now you can see. See, whatever I do on the mat, if I lie down, I sit up, I lift the hands, stretch, do anything. I do anything, it's visible to you. That's my job. I have to ensure that you can see me. Similarly, you need to ensure that the teacher can see you. What is the benefit of that? The benefit is that whenever you go, whenever you do something good, the teacher can observe it and pick up that and tell others to improve like you. Whenever you make some minor errors, the teacher can guide you to correct yourself. These are very important benefits, right? Because what happens when we do a practice for a long time without correcting it, it's very difficult to correct it after it becomes a habit. So the moment you anything, see, for me also, I can also make a mistake. So it's possible for anybody. So we have to correct it. So please make yourself visible in the camera. There will be some limitations of space. It's okay. Whatever possible within the space available to you, try to make yourself visible. Ideally, the distance of the mat to the camera, the laptop or phone, whatever you're using, it will be approximately 8 feet. Just as a thumb rule I'm saying, see 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 tiles between the mat and the camera. So that is the distance that you should keep so that it's visible. Is it visible to you? Is it? Yeah, charging only. So that's the thing. Now we did the mantra. Now we are going to do loosening practices, okay, which is happening in the main general class. This much loosening is not there in children class. Children class less only. So as I said, please observe more. You can do no problem. Try to learn more, okay. So I come up. After the mantra is over, what do? I'll do a little jogging. So all this I have to prepare. Otherwise, I cannot do Surya Namaskar. Okay. So I do jogging. Soft running I'm doing. Now when you do this, the mouth should be closed. You should not open the mouth. Whatever possible. If you find that this is tough, you can go slow. This is also fine. And then I have to do heel to hand jogging. So like this. And then again change to soft running. So did you observe? I tried to touch the heel on the hand. That's called heel to hand jogging. Then I do slow jogging and relax. After this, what do I tell in the class? I ask you to come to the back edge of the mat. So this is the mat, okay? Which is the back edge? This is the back edge. So I have to come back edge of the mat. Then keep the feet apart. See, it came to shoulder distance. So some people keep only this much. You will not get balance. So keep your legs at shoulder distance. So this is my shoulder, no? Same distance the legs has to come. Then bring the arms in front, parallel. Fist close. Rotate the wrist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reverse. 1. To those who want to practice with me, you can do that. 4, 3, 4, 5. Then I bring hands on the shoulder. Okay. Then touch the elbows front and rotate the shoulder. 1, 2. See how the elbows go up and come down like that. 3. See, it goes up. Did you observe this position? So I am not doing as per the full class. I am explaining the things. So my breathing may not be right. Okay, now I will show a small mistake what people do. They take from here. See? Did you observe the difference? It is not supposed to be taken like this. From here, it's supposed to be taken up. Did you see observe this position? Here, the ear and the biceps are touching. Ear and the biceps are touching. Did you see that? And then I take it back. See that? What are all the things you have to monitor? It goes up, then it goes back, it comes down like this. So do not take like this. So what will happen? The shoulder will not rotate properly. The shoulder has to rotate, means it has to go up, then it has to come down. Then I do 5 rounds ulta. 1, 2. On the way, see the elbow is touching in front. Did you observe? 3, 4, and 5. So there is a rhythm for this. So don't do like this. What will happen? Yes, you are rotating, but there is no awareness in that. The focus is more on speed. I'm not able to feel, okay, what is happening to my shoulder? So this practice happens with breathing. So inhaling, it goes up. Exhaling, it comes down like that. Similarly, inhaling, it goes up. Exhaling, it comes down like that. So that's called shoulder rotation. Then I go to arm rotations. Arm rotations are a little faster, if you see. Because like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 rounds this side, 5 rounds that side. After that, what do we do? Then catch the waist. So catching the waist, there is a technique. Did you see the hand? This is how to catch, not like this. This generally when you have a back pain, you keep hand like this to support. Catching the waist is like this. Okay? Catching the waist, I push the hip forward. Then rotate the hip. 1, 2. Do you observe it goes to all the sides? 3, 4. With awareness. 5. Where did I start? I started from here. So I stop here. Then come back again. 1, 2. What should I do? I have to follow the count of the teacher. I cannot do like this. 1, 2, 1. So teacher is counting at one speed and the student is doing it at some other speed. So as a student, if I am the student and say Sreya is counting or YG is counting, what will I do? If you say 2, I will wait for the 3 to come. 3. So observing your speed, I will practice. Because YG knows what is the correct speed for doing this. Similarly, your teacher, whoever is the teacher, he or she knows what is the correct speed. As a student, my job is to follow what he is telling. Okay? So that's what you have to do. So, other side. 1, 2. Here also there is a breath. 3. I'm spending a lot of time. Even if you finish only the lows knee today, no problem. 4. The idea is not to finish everything. 5. Idea is to qualify what you are doing. Add quality into the practice. That is the idea of these classes. Now, what should I do? Next one is bending back and bending forward. I'm turning to show you. Ideally, you need not turn. But you can see, first I have to touch the thumbs at the back. Did you see? Thumb. This is the thumb. I touch the thumb. And hand is not like this. Elbow is behind the body. Elbow is not outward. Elbow behind the body. Then pushing the hip, I have to bend back. Inhale, bend back. Did you observe? Exhale, bend forward. Now the hand position changed. Inhale. So hand was here. I brought it here again. Bend back. Exhale. bend down. Hand position came to the side. It is observe. Inhale, bend back. Keep on bending. Exhale, down. Inhale, back. Exhale, down. One more, fifth one. Inhale, back. Exhale, down. So, did you observe how I changed the hand? So, when I bent back, the hand was behind like this. Elbow was back, not here. So, with this push, I try to bend like that. It's okay, you cannot bend too much, but process cannot be broken. You cannot bend like this. What will happen? There is no support only on the back. How will the back bend? It will not bend. Because there is nobody to push the hip forward. So the idea of keeping the hand back is to push the hip and bend. Did you understand the difference of keeping the hand like this and keeping the hand this way? Simple engineering, pure engineering. I support and back. Here, how will I bend? Knee will bend. Body will not bend. Because there is nothing to push the hip forward. What the difference? This intelligence has to come to the practice. So we have, first thing is, yes, these are all exercises, yes. But you have to keep in mind that exercise is, yes, it's required. That's not the main thing. The main thing is intelligence, awareness of what you are doing, learning the right technique. That is the main thing. Baki sab, see, if you are on the right, knowledge is there, everything will come follow. You try to, so that's what I'm trying. So when I speak to people, I try to improve my knowledge. So let us focus on improving our knowledge base. Then all the practice will come automatic. You don't have to worry because you are on the right track. So we did forward bending, backward bending. Then what we do? Till this time, the leg never changed. The leg was here only. I will never change the leg position till this time. Now I say, exhale, join the feet, hands on the knees. This is exactly what I say in the class. So when I say join the feet, the mind should work. Join the feet. The feet is joined and hands on the knees. And the exhale is done. Now what I do? Rotate the knee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Change. 1. See the movement? 2. I'm taking the side also. 3, 4. I'm observing my own knees. 5. So 5 plus 5 round. Then I inhale, stand up. Exhale, catch the waist. Now, what is the next? Ankle loosening. I'm just observing the sequence, what all of you are doing. So from here, take the left leg in the air. With the balance, rotate the ankle. 1. Those who want to practice, please practice with me. 2, 3. But I'll keep on explaining. So 5. Change. 1. So it is not a continuous practice class. 2, 3, 4, 5. Drop. Other leg front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Change. 1, 2. See, I'm looking at 1 point. 3. If I look here and there, गिरेगा. No, the drishti is there. No. यहाँ देखिएगा खत्म. 4, 5. Exhale, drop. So what all we did? We did wrist, shoulder, arm, hips, forward, backward, knee, ankle. All these joints are loose. Now we are going to do, so till this time, I am at the rear end of the mat. So in the beginning I said, start from the rear end of the mat. And the hands are on the waist. Now, inhaling, take the left foot forward. 3 feet. 3 feet. Not 2 feet, 1 feet and all. When you exhale, you have to bend this knee, both the knee bend. Lunging forward. Inhale, up. Exhale, bend. Inhale, up. Exhale, bend. The heel is lifting there. Inhale, up. Now the heel is down. Exhale, bend. Inhale, up. And exhale, bend. Stay for some time. 1, 2. See, the knee is in the air. 3, 4, 5. Inhale, come up. Exhale, walk forward. I walked for front. So that's an exhalation. Then inhale, take the left leg back. See how the practice is designed. Exhale, bend. Inhale, up. I'll show you sideways now. How I do that. 3 feet. This feet is angular. This feet is straight. Catching, exhale, bend. The heel lifts up. But the knee doesn't touch. Inhale, up. Exhale, bend. Inhale, up. Exhale, bend. Inhale. One more. Exhale. Stay for some time. 1, see, this is stretching. 2, it's called forward lunging. 4, knee will not touch. 5, inhale, up. Exhale, walk forward. Hands down. Then what do I say? I say turn to the side of the mat. Then spread the legs to about 4 feet. All these are loosening practices. We have not come to Surya Namaskar yet. Then bring the arms in front. Then I say take an inhale. Exhale, sit half on the left leg. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Try to keep the back straight. Exhale. Inhale. Even if it is 5 degree, okay. This is also fine. Inhale. Exhale. This is also okay. Inhale. Then last one you have to hold. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Other side. 1, 2. Try to keep the back straight. 3. Side lunging. 4, 5. Inhale. Come up. Exhale. Catch the waist. Inhale. Walk the legs inside. Exhale. Turn and jump forward. Do you see that? How I turned and jumped? If you cannot do that, no problem. From here I can do like this. No issue. Yep. If you can't jump, just walk forward. Turn and walk forward. So we did till the lunging. Then I have to do lying down loosely and turning round loosely. So from here, I lay down. Come to Samasthiti, join the legs, hands tight. Inhale, take both the legs up. Not one by one. Both together try. Then start cycling. 1, 2, 3 children, all of you cycle. 4, 5, 6. Vaishnavi is there, Sreya is there. 7, 9, 10. Backward cycling. 1, 2. See the movement of the knee and the leg. 3, 4. Actual cycling. 5, 6. It's to loosen the hips and the legs. 8, 9, 10. Okay. So stop with the leg bend and it is in the air. Okay. Then interlock the fingers behind the head and keep the head high. Lift up. Now exhale. Try to touch right elbow on the right knee. 1, 2. Other side. Left side. Left side. Side. Left side. Right side. Left side. Right side. Left side. Right side. Then inhale, head down. Exhale, release the hands and legs. So what all we did here? We did cycling practice and bicycle crunches. What you did that right, left, right, that is called bicycle crunches. So that's in the loosening practice. Before that, there is one more loosening which is called Bhunamanasana. So I keep the hands at back and shake the legs first. So before lying down, this sequence is also there. Any downs you can interrupt and ask me anytime, okay? Then neck rotation. How to do neck rotation? Put the chin down first. Then start rotating the neck. 1. Take it to all the sides. 2. So this comes actually before lying down. 3. So I missed it. 4. Did you observe how I am doing with awareness? 5. Now let me tell you one important point in this. So some people do like this. See, observe my chin. So I'll tell you a wrong method. See, if the chin goes sideways like this, that's called chin rotation. Chin should not go like this. So this is wrong technique. This is actually making rotation with the chin. Instead of doing chin rotation, I have to tilt the head. You see, I have to bring the ear to the shoulder. Tilt it. So like this. From here I tilt and take it. When I reach here, I tilt. Tilt the head. You don't bring the chin to the shoulder. Try to bring ear on the shoulder, not chin on the shoulder. There is a difference between that. So this is chin on shoulder, whereas this is ear on shoulder. So that how the ear goes like this. See on the other side. Okay, trying to touch the ear on the shoulder when you do neck rotation. Then, what is the next loosening practice in sitting position? Bhunamanasana. How to do that? Inhale, arms in front. Exhaling, twist the body to left. Try to touch forehead on the back side ground. So I take both the hands back and try to bring the forehead in the mat here. So the right buttock will lift up like that. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, up. Exhale, right. Bhunamanasana. Inhale, center. And exhale, left. Stay for a while. 1, 2. See my hands? 3. It's not lying down like this. Essentially, only this. So that this leg, heel will not lift up. Leg will be there only. 5. Inhale, come to center. Exhale to the other side. So Bhunamanasana. Bhu means earth. Namana means Bhuskara. We are going here down the earth like that. 3, 4, 5. Inhale, come to center. Exhale, hands down. So this comes before the lying down. So that's the sitting sequence. Now after lying down, which are the things we did? We did cycling and also bicycle crunches. You remember? All of you remember that. So after bicycle crunches, I come to sthiti. Then inhale, take the right arm over the head and bend the left leg. What do I say? From here, inhale, take the right arm over the head and bend the left leg. That's the exact explanation I say. On the exhalation, turn to the ground, lie down on the stomach. And lie down on the stomach. Resting the palms on the floor, come to cat position. So I come to cat. Then I ask you, exhale and turn to the front. So I am supposed to turn forward like this, facing the camera. So here I am turning this side because here the camera is. So what is the next loosening practice? Anybody? Threading the needle. So inhale, take the left arm up. Look at the hand. Exhale, insert the arm between the other hand and other knee, head down. This way. This is his elbow will be bending. Inhale, 2. Exhale, bend. And then insert. Inhale, 3. Exhale. 5 times. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Stay there. 1, 2, 3. Normal breath. 4. Looking at the hand. 5. Exhale. 1, 2. Everything is down. 3. The hand is down, shoulder is down, head is down. 5. Inhale to cat. Exhale. Did you observe my finger? Did you see that? Whenever I keep the hand on the floor, it will never be like this. Always it will be like this. Why? Because the carpal tunnel has to open. Never keep the palm like this when you are pressing on the floor. Keep it wide open like this. And the index finger should be parallel. This finger should be parallel. Like that. Okay? Now the other side. Inhale, reach up, reach. Not like this. Reach means reach. See the quality, how the quality changes. This and this. Is there you find any difference there? Yeah. Exhale. Inhale. And that comes with intelligence. Exhale. 3. See the breath. Down. 4. Down. One more. 5. Stay here. 1. See the push. 2. Looking at the hand. 3. Not anywhere else. 4. Looking at the tip of the hand. 5. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, cat. Exhale. Then take an inhale here. Going to elbow plank. Exhale, put the elbow down, interlock the fingers. Got it? Now what do I say? Inhale, lift the knees up. I'll show you side view. You're not supposed to turn. So I'm in this position. From there, inhale, lift the knees up, go to mountain, like this. When you exhale, walk back and bring the buttocks star over the floor. Elbow plank, looking front. 2, 3, 4, elbow plank. 5, 6, straight line. 7, not like this. 8, midway. 9, 10. Exhale, keep the knee down. Pushing the ground, inhale and stand up on the knees like a cat. When you exhale, lift your knee back and go to mountain. Stay for a while. 1, 2, push the ground. 3, try to concave your back. 4, looking at the mirror. 5, walk forward. Inhale, head up. Exhale, try to touch head on the knee. 5, do not touch, don't worry. Then inhale, stand up. Side moving hands up. Join a hand, look at the thumb. Exhale, hands down. That completes loosening practices. I tried to explain at least some of the important points. Any doubts in the loosening practice which we did till now? Anybody, any doubts? Please ask so that I can explain. Otherwise, I will go to Surya Namaskar. We already spent about 40 minutes for this. So I hope you remember the sequence, whatever we did. These are all coming in the bucket of loosening, whatever we did till now. Then we go to Surya Namaskara. Surya Namaskara, which is the style this month? It is Esvyasa Surya Namaskara, Swami Vivekananda type. So how many Shashankasana will come? 2 Shashankasana will come. I will not do many rounds. I will tell the important points only. So that anyway you are doing all these things in the class. Let me explain all the important points. First, what is the thing? What is prayer for Surya Namaskar? So inhaling, take the arms over the head. Join at the top. Exhaling, heart center. Center of the heart. So it's just below the chin. It has to come below the chin. Don't keep it on chin as I said earlier. Then closing the eyes, starting prayer for Surya Namaskar. Take an in breath. Did you see that Om is fairly long? Why the Om is long is because the inhale before the Om was good. Om. So I filled up the air, then did the Om. So if you don't do a see, if I take a shortcut like Om, that's all. Because my inhale was not enough. So all the Om is also mantra only. So it is to calm the mind. And it is also considered as a pranayama. Om is also pranayama only. So consider Om as long as you can without straining the breath. Okay. So take good inhalations before Om. Then start Om like that. Okay. Then Hiranyayena patrena satyasyapi hitam mukham tattvam pushanna pavrano satya dharmaya drishtaye. Take an inhale. The children, that O may not be as long as, because your lung capacity may not be as good as adult people. Don't worry, whatever possible you do. Now we start with Surya Namaskara. So I am going to explain the important things in each step so that you understand the important points. First 2 rounds have to be mild. After that, third, fourth and all, you can improve the stretches. What is the other important thing? Till now, there was not much of breathing control. Everything was fairly normal breaths only, except few practices which we did. But hereafter, there has to be synchronization between time, movement, and breathing. So one thing that you have to keep in mind is that normal breathing cannot be controlled. It will happen like, so that's the longest I can say. Maybe 2 seconds. So I want you to get this very clear into the mind. So unless you get this proper breath, then the practice will not fall in line. Now, as I said, normal breathing cannot be regulated. There are 2 ways to regulate the breath. In yoga books, it is written. Only 2 methods are there. One is using the finger. We keep the finger on the nose. You have seen people call Anulom, Vilom, Pranayam, all these things. Why do they keep the finger like this? Why the finger is kept on the nose? There is a reason why the finger is kept. I will give an example. So I have mentioned this example in many of the classes. Still, it is worth repeating it. So imagine I have one water tank on the terrace, and there is a pipe which comes to the drainage. So there is a valve, okay? I open the valve and keep the water flowing. Imagine it takes 1 hour to drain that water tank. So there is no control. I open the valve and then everything goes off. The full valve is open. Now, if I close the valve to half the valve is closed. What will be the time taken? Simple mathematics, engineering I am talking. What is the time taken? Without closing the valve, it took 1 hour. If I close the valve half, what will be the time taken? It will be double. It will take 2 hours. If I close it little more, say make it 2/3 close, only 1/3 is open, then it will become more, maybe 3 hours. So the more I close the valve, the more it will take for the water to drain. So why is this finger kept? This finger is kept to regulate the flow of the breath. So for example, see I am breathing without a finger, like I am trying to breathe slow. This is the breath I can take. Okay, I will do it with one nose also. I will close one side and breathe with this side, with the right nostril. Say I would have taken about 4 or 5 seconds. Now I will take the same breath with my finger, using the finger. Okay, I am using ring finger on keeping this side. Now observe my breath. So that was inhalation. I think I would have taken about 10 or 12 seconds, just a rough estimate. So how did this 4 seconds become 12 seconds? The only change that happened is I kept this finger here and controlled that aperture. What did I do? I controlled this aperture and delayed the inhalation. That is one way to delay the inhalation. Okay? These are all scientific, I am telling you, from the books. Now, when you are doing Surya Namaskara or asana practices, there is no hand is not available. In pranayama, hand is available. But when I am doing Surya Namaskara and all, hand is not free. So what is the technique that we use? Throat control. So how do we do that? When we do normal breath, it will be like this. One more normal breath I'm going to show you. This is all what I can delay. Now I'm going to show you the same breath with regulation at the throat. Observe the sound difference. See how I delayed the breath? Using the epiglottis. So that is called Ujjayi breath, or people call it ocean breathing, Ujjayi pranayama. All these are the same. So when you practice Surya Namaskara, when you practice asanas, the style of breathing is this. So you have to get this sound. I hope you could hear me properly. If I'm not audible, I'm going to repeat that sound once again with the help of a small mic so that you listen to it very carefully. Observe the sound. A normal breath is like this. The sound will come from the nose. But Ujjayi breath is different. I do Karatapana like this. Observe. Did you observe the movement, the timing, and the breathing? All the three was in hand. Everything one gels, blending all the three. That is what is done in Hatha Yoga. You cannot keep breathing separate, movement separate, timing separate, all the three separate. Not possible. You have to breathe, time, and move in the same manner, all in one move, one time. Okay, so keep practicing, get this breathing into your fold. Okay, now I'm going to show you one round with that breathing so that you pick up that. Observe my breathing sound, movement, and the steps, the synchronization between all the three. With this side, I don't have much space, so my hand movements may not be perfect. I will not talk now, I will only do. After that, I will talk. Gazing on the nose, I start. Initially, first two rounds, it will be mild. Om Mitraya Namaha. Second round. Paravaye Namaha. I hope you were able to hear the sound of my breathing. What was I doing? So this is the main element. So in the books, it says, use breathing as the yardstick of your practice. What is the yardstick? It is a measurement, right? So if your breath is going haywire, that means you are doing too much. Simple principle. If you are not able to regulate the breath, it is going without your control. I will show you the method. Some people, how they do. You are not regulating, no. Breath will go in one way, body will go in one way, mind will go in the third way. Three different directions. Like this. So did you observe? All the movements had multiple breathing. There were no synchronizations. Why it happens, I will tell you. The main reason for that is you may be doing too much. You may be stretching beyond what you are supposed to do. One reason. The other reason is you are not monitoring the breath. The mind is not counting. The mind is on something else. So we are supposed to take 8 breaths in one round of Surya Namaskara. If you followed my class, every person attending the class doing Surya Namaskara of Swami Vivekananda are supposed to take 8 breaths in one cycle plus one mantra. Mantra will be done with an inhalation and exhalation. So 8 breaths for the Surya Namaskara. So you have to count. If you are taking extra breaths, it's okay, but you should be aware, yes, in this step, I took an extra breath. And with experience, I have to come out of it. What happens in unmonitored breathing is that the lungs will not develop because we are not consciously inflating the lungs and consciously deflating the lungs. When there is a movement upward, we are supposed to inhale, full inhalation. If we already exhale in that position, then inhale and come, what is happening is you are not expanding the lungs to the fullest capacity. So if it's difficult, yes, you may have to take an extra breath, but you need to be aware that I have to reduce those instances of taking those extra breaths. So as I said, the primary reason there was a question. I think somebody had asked that question. I am not able to synchronize my breathing with the practice. One of the reasons may be that you are overstretching yourself, one of the reason. Other reason is that you are not using the Ujjayi technique which I told you, that ocean. मतलब जो लहर है ना, the sound of the waves, you have to visualize in your mind how to breathe like waves, how to move like waves. So that mind should be there. Yes, I have to breathe slowly, I have to breathe deeply. When that conscious effort comes, then it will happen. I have seen people practicing yoga for 20 years without focusing on breath. Now, I have some people told me, now only I realize why it is important to breathe properly. So they are focusing more on the physical action, on the asana alone. I have told in many classes, the physical action, it is, yes, required, but it is like salt. When we make sambar or dal, no, उसमें जितना नमक डालते हैं वो नमक के जैसा है फिजिकल जो हम लोग जो आसन कर रहे हैं उसमें जो फिजिकल एक्शन है इट इज सिमिलर टू नमक अब आप अगर नमक और डालते जाएगा will that dal become tasty? No, it will not become tasty. Yes, namak is required, but to the desired extent. Other things like haldi, mirchi powder, dal, okay, little oil, color, all these things are there. Then only the dal or the sambar becomes tasty. Correct? Even the drumstick or in sambar should be boiled properly. Everything is required for a good dish. So your asana or Surya Namaskara or practice is like a good dish. You have to blend these elements into that. Only namak is not going to help. Namak is required, but there is a limit to that. So physical action is required to some extent. In the book, there it says Trishtana. 3 pillars of yoga. They call Trishtana. First pillar is breath. First pillar, breathing. Second pillar, drishti, where you look. Third pillar, last pillar, posture, asana, posture. First importance, breathing. Second importance, looking. Third importance is for physical action. Why? Because physical action takes longer time to come. Each person is not same. I am different, you are different. Physical action, if you focus too much, what will happen? It is like putting more salt. You will injure yourself. That's why I said that first statement, breathing is the yardstick of practice. आप उतना ही कीजिए जब तक आपका सांस परमिट करते हैं. How much the breath allows, that only you should practice. So for example, imagine I'm stretching backwards. If I find my breath is going without control, so I should stretch a little less. See, I was very clear there. See, now I am very, very comfortable in the doing. I did not make any violations in what I did, but the effort was reduced. The stretches were reduced. So now I am able to breathe. I am giving an example. I am able to breathe very, very well. अच्छी तरह मेरा ब्रीथिंग हो रहा था, लेकिन मैंने कोई रूल्स ये नहीं किया, ब्रेक नहीं किया. That is what intelligence I should have in the mind. So stretch whatever possible, as long as the breath allows, and focus on the breathing. Now I will come to the important points on each of those steps. As I said, Namaskara Mudra is like this, not like this. First point. Then, Ekam is Hasta Uttanasana, bending back. Common errors I will, what not to do. And then, these are the errors that we should correct. First thing is, don't bend back too much. Like, not required. Okay? Then, don't bend the elbow. And there is like this. And the knee. So the knee, elbow, wrist. All these 3 things you should not bend. So don't be like this. What will happen? Except your backbone, everything is bending. So this stretch is for the back and the body. Full body has to stretch. So keeping the elbow straight, knee straight, and the wrist straight, stretch what you can. Itna hi chalega. That much. That is the first one. So try to push the hip forward when you bend back, like this. What children do like this? You see the difference? They push the hip back and arch the back, like this. Don't do this. The hip has to come forward, and the arm and the body has to go back, like that. Then exhale. I think most of you watched that forward bend. When you exhale, don't round your back like this. This is not the way to come. The way to come is leading with the navel. So from here, I bring the navel first, head last. See head with the irony. Pele what touched? Navel touched. The thigh. Then I am bringing the chest. Finally, the head is coming. That's the technique to bend forward. Start from your navel. And the pelvis, from the pelvis you have to bend. Bring the navel first, then the chest second, and last moment the head comes. Okay?
So try to touch the, if it is not touching this, this is also enough. In the last moment of that bending, you have to try to bring your head to the wall. Then, inhaling, I will show the right leg. Inhaling, take the right leg back. So, 2 steps I explained. Here the legs should be together. So, children, the legs should be together like this. Especially, don't keep it like this, it should be together, touching each other. Okay? Then, what is the next important point? Is while taking one leg back, take it long step. Don't take it this much. Then the back will not arch. So take it a good step, and this shin bone will be perpendicular. So here the bottom of the upper part of the thigh will be stretching. And keeping the fingertips on the mat, look at the upward eyebrow direction. Like that. Fingertips. Not the palm fully, not required. Lift your chest and keep the fingertips on the mat. That's an inhalation. When you exhale, the full palm will come and the other leg will go back. Exhalation. Here, it's a straight line, not like this. It's not a mountain, nor like this. It should be high line, straight line like this. And the chin straight, looking at the nose. Don't put your chin down like this. Chin straight. That's called plank, high plank. Then inhale and keep the knee down. When I sit back, hand will not move, leg will not move. The standing toe will become sleeping toe. When I sit back, see the hand is there. Hand comes down. See that? The leg did not move, hand did not move. Then, same position, there is no change of leg and hand. Inhale, come to cat. Standing toe there. So, what is the importance here? Here, the elbow is tight. Not under one elbow. Buttocks is on the heel. पैर पीछे की तरफ चला गया. Arms are stretched. Fingers are wide open. And head touches the ground. Inhale, come up on the knee. When you exhale, don't keep your chest behind like this. Keep it front. Now, I have to keep it front this way. Elbow will be close to the body. Now let me explain some of the points. I explained the rabbit posture. Now this I need to show like this. Now here, from here when I go down, you should not keep the elbow like, it should not go outward. It should go bending backward like that. So it goes like this. Do not be spreading like that. Then inhale while coming up also, the elbow will be close to body. Like that. I'll show you that side view again. Sorry. So from here, I was here. From here, I split the toe. Inhale, pull the body forward, lift it up. Like that. And head comes in the last moment. Like that. Exhale. V-shape. Again, inhale, keep the knee down. So here, try to make concave. Don't stay like this. Try to push. That position has to come. Then inhale and keep the knee down. Exhale, Shashankasana. Inhale, bring the, whichever leg you took, bring it forward, long step. Exhale, head on the knee, fold your body. Inhale, stand up, bend back. Exhale. So, these are the important points which you must note while practicing. Position of the elbow, position of the feet, all that should be noted. And some of the common mistakes I explained. So in this high plank, it should be like this, not like this, it should not be down. It's midway position. Then, no replacement of hand or leg. Without replacing the hand, you sit down. Like that. Then, your elbow should be close to the body when you hand. The chest has to come front of the wrist, like that. Then slipping the toe from the hand, pull the body up and lift it forward like that. Exhale.
concave back. You see the concave back? Not like this. Try to push. Then taking the long step. Don't take short step like this. Take it fully. Fully. All these points you have to keep in mind. Any queries on Surya Namaskar? Anybody has got any question? I'll reply now.
So while bending down, I have some like a muscle pull in my left knee. So you are not able to bend completely front. This is both for this as well as for the Jalasirisasana. Both, I feel the pain in the left knee.
On the top or bottom of the knee?
No, on the top.
While bending forward like this?
Yes, yes.
Maybe a little sprain or something. So you can little bend. So when you bend forward from this position, slightly bend the knee if you find it tough like this.
Okay.
Slightly, so it will not pain. So after a few weeks or 1 or 2 months, generally the pain will reduce. Instead, then try to straighten it. Keep a little bend.
Especially, as after the 6th or 7th round, it is getting better.
Mm-hmm.
But the first 4 rounds, the pain is severe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think maybe a little loosening. If initially go slow, a little mild, and give it a little time, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, no, few more weeks. Don't press it too much. I think gradually it will go away. That's what I think.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Geeta Ramabhadran here, joining.
Yeah, Geeta, yes. Thanks for informing. So I had some questions. So I explained Surya Namaskar. Anybody having any other questions in Surya Namaskar? Otherwise, I'm going to some of the questions and the asana practices. Whatever possible, I can cover. Yeah. So then I go forward. So as the one question was, breathing is not matching with all the asanas. To the extent possible, I tried to explain it. I'll also demonstrate that Parshvottanasana, where this principle which I spoke about, I'm trying to implement. I'm going to quickly show. So from here, I finished Surya Namaskara like this, facing this side. Imagine. So Surya Namaskara is over. Then I do Dhyana Bandha, Agnisara Kriya, eye rotation, everything. Then turn to my left and go to the left edge of the mat. So what do I say? So I'm facing this side. So I have to turn to my left and then go to the left edge of the mat. I came here. Samasthiti. See, always Samasthiti, the hands are tight, legs are tight. So all these small disciplines we have to ensure while practicing. Steady, drishti, looking straight, back straight, arm straight, leg straight. Only when these small things come, then only the big things will come. First we have to learn basic fundamentals, no? Then only we can learn the advanced things. As I said, breathing is there in every asana. So first thing is we have to set the breath. Now, when I do Parshvottanasana, I'm going to demonstrate that with the refined breath. Lungs are empty. Automatically that rhythm of breath came to me. Only inhale. Slowly I'm going. I don't want to see the rhythm of my movement. So what did I do? I was actually monitoring my breath first. First thing is I know the steps. Since I know the steps, I am not confused, right? So the first thing is knowing what is to be done. So there is no way to get that knowledge. Unless you keep practicing, you keep coming in these classes, interact, follow the sequences, watch the video, all these things, continuous practice. Once you get there, the steps are clear. Now, once the steps are clear, then only you can properly focus on the breathing. Now, see from here, I don't know, if I imagine I don't know what is Parshvottanasana. I don't know which leg goes. How much is the distance? If I don't know any of these things, so I have to wait for 3 feet, okay, right leg. Okay, right leg. Now, by the time that step is over, by the time you realize, now how to breathe? The step is itself, I don't know. The first elementary thing is we have to learn the steps. Then I have to monitor the breathing. Now, when I take the leg out, it's, as I said, regulated breathing. I wait for my breath to complete. I waited for that breath to complete. So I'm monitoring each breath. So that intelligence is required. Then when I turn, I will not turn like this. No, because my breath is slow and I'm monitoring that counting. So when I want to take a slow, it's called LSD. Light, slow, deep breathing. Light, and I repeat the words, light, slow, deep. Remember that name in the mind, LSD. This also is not my thing. I keep watching different videos. One person spoke about this LSD somewhere. So I picked it up from there. I learned it. That's the way. So I did not make this. Light, slow, deep. So from here, so I'm just demonstrating. Okay, just observe. Light, slow, deep. It's a deep, light and slow breath. Now when my inhale was good, my exhale cannot be bad. Because you have to exhale everything that you have taken. So unless your deep breath is done, you cannot exhale properly. So while exhaling, I did this. Now I have to take a light, slow, deep breathing. So I focus on that. Now inhale is over. My exhale is over. I don't want to go further. Because I have to start inhaling from here. Looking at the inhale, I start inhaling. Fully. See, when did I lay down? While exhaling. I'm focusing how to inflate my lungs. I have completely exhaled. One more breath is there, I know. Full. That's the last inhalation. I know this is the step coming. Exhale is over. So did you observe my chest bulging? It's bulged. So that was a good inhalation. And the same thing repeats there. Did you observe how the breath was priority for me? This intelligence has to come to you. Prioritize breathing. What will happen? I will tell you. Full mind ठंडा हो जाएगा, एकदम slow हो जाएगा. It will calm because the breathing is very slow, deep and complete. And exhalation also deep, slow, complete. That is the technique of proper practicing. Okay. Why did I stop here? Do you observe? From here I did not go further. I could have done this. I did not do it. Why? Because I am monitoring my breathing. So I did not want to fully do that and struggle there. I could have done this. I did not. Why? Because I used that intelligence to stop where my breath told don't go further. ये अपना माइंड में रहना चाहिए. Very important. हो गया. Then, so this whatever explanation I gave, it is enough for all the asanas which you're doing, ideally. Now, there were some questions, so I have to cover them. So I answered one or two questions. Then, yes, before going to Sarvangasana, some children were there who were asking regarding Bakasana. So, I think Sreya was there, Vaishnavi and all. Then, how do you do Bakasana? So, Bakasana is not a jump, it's a balance. So, how do I do? Say, I keep the hand like this. Okay. Now, my leg is not here. I keep it close to the hand, and knee or the thigh should touch the hand, like this. It should touch the hand. Sorry, it should touch. Okay, I'm taking the leg on the arm, just above the elbow. So I'm trying to balance like that. So keeping the leg on the hand, on the arm, on the bicep. Try, then I lift the heel, and I try to balance. So I take one leg up like this, and then try to take the other leg. You saw that? So that is Bakasana. Keeping the leg on the hand, not like that. I'm explaining because some people are making their mistakes. That's why I'm explaining. So keep the knee or your thigh on the hand, just below the armpit. Keeping that weight on the arm, try to shift the weight forward, like this, shift it. Then take one leg up, then balancing on that hand, take the other leg up, like that. That is Bakasana. Same way, whatever second asana which some of you had difficulty was Bhujangasana. So same standing, the same method. Instead of keeping the hand in front, I insert it behind, like this. It was here earlier. Now I took it behind, here. Then putting the hand down, shifting the weight again on the hand, I lift the leg and cross it. That is Bhujangasana. How did I do that? Let me show from the front. So I was here, earlier my hand was here, I was doing Bakasana here, my hand went back. At the back, shifting the weight again on the hand, I lift the leg in front and cross it. Like that. I'm trying to do slow breathing. And I come to standing position. So these are two asanas which I found children like Shreya, Vaishnavi, I don't know where you're there. Vaishnavi is there, you cannot see. Some of you had that confusion. Another question was regarding Sarvangasana, and I cannot put my leg down and catch the hands. So that's fine. See, when you're doing Sarvangasana, gradually it requires a lot of experience to go to Halasana, trying to put the leg down, then taking the arms up. Don't worry, just keep practicing. Gradually the stretch on the neck, back and all will increase without time passing by. And with time passing by, the leg will reach. As I said, it will happen when the practice is continuous. So keep practicing regularly. After 2-3 months, you will find, yeah, abhi kaise ho raha hai, pata hi nahi. So like that, it will happen. Automatically it will come. Don't worry about that. Then, I would like to do, there was a question on Akarna Dhanurasana and Parsha Sarvangasana. If you're there, can you specify what is the query you are trying to ask, Preeti and
Sir, sir. So in Akarna Dhanurasana, you keep saying that don't, I think, tilt to the, side, right? But without fail, I am not sure if, so I wanted to see yours once from the front as to whether how much do you tilt? Because for me, without tilting, it's just not possible to balance with that one leg up.
You are actually tilting the body sideways, is it?
Yes.
I think little tilt will be there. So others, did you observe how I emptied the lungs? My lungs are ready. Now, stretched. Toes are pointed as of now. I hope you can see my toe.
Yes.
Last inhalation. So I was asked, there is a light movement of the knee out, but it doesn't cause any impact on the knee. So I'm not, so I'm looking at, so as of now I was looking at the screen, but I'm supposed to look at the toe and pull the leg like that without tilting to this way. Keeping the back a little straight, try to put the elbow back and the knee back like that. If you see some from the side view, so this was the front view, which I think you were able to see. So when I pull it back, like that. So try to pull the knee back. Don't keep it sideways. Try to pull it back and lift the heel. So that lifting the heel will probably reduce that leaning to that side. When you lift the heel.
Right. So, okay. I think I'm not lifting the heel also much. I'm just trying to take the knee as back as possible. Also, sir, you keep saying that your knee should not go to the right. I mean,
So what I mean by saying that is it should not be like this.
okay, fine.
So it actually twists the knee like this.
Yeah.
The Marston effect. But here it will be more like not really twisting too much because you're trying to lift it and the knee goes out. So try to keep the knee inward and pull it backward. So some of you find it difficult can do it like this also, like catch the leg, lift, pull it
Okay.
back. Keeping this hand on the say shin bone or something like that. Try not to do this. Try to pull it backwards like that.
Okay, sir.
That's one. Then I think you were mentioning about Parsha Sarvasana.
Yes, sir. So Parsha Sarvangasana, I read about it yesterday. So one thing is that you have to first actually tilt your body, turn your body to the, say, if you're doing it on the right side, you have to turn the body to the right side and then bend your back, right? I mean, by moving the poles, by moving the support.
Yes, so that support is what actually makes that effect. So
I tried it today, sir, on my own. So I was able to do on the right side. I think because my back strength on the right hip is a little more, so I was able to do a little bit on that side. Left side, yeah, I think I have a slight falling feeling. I mean, I'm not able to support it properly, or my hand is not strong enough. I'm not sure.
no, see, it's not doesn't require much strength actually. It is just the way you support that is more important in that. Quickly, I'll show that side. I took breath there. Now here, see how I slide. See, I slide this hand and keep it on the buttock. Is all right. And then the weight on the buttock, I take the leg.
Okay.
Change the shoulder. It was here, right? Then I took this hand, slided that hand on the buttock. Then I reached.
So is there a back bend or not? I mean,
It's a slight back bend.
slide back bend.
So some people are doing like this. It's a convex. This is almost a concave kind of this one. Shoulder will not turn. It's a very simple asana. The entire weight is on this hand. Then this man who was asking regarding that halasana. So this is also halasana, no problem. ये भी हलासन है, चलेगा, धीरे 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 पीछे जाएगा, जितना होता है उतना कीजिए, बस घुटना सीधा रखिए, नासागर दृष्टि कीजिए, धीरे धीरे ब्रीथ कीजिए. So धीरे धीरे ये जो कमर का पोजीशन है पीछे जाएगा. So it will take few months to get there, and then even here you can actually catch the toe. That's Supta Konasana. It's possible. So don't worry about it. Gradually that depth will come. So you see, if you go fast, the neck will sprain. So don't do too much. जितना होता है उतना करते रहिएगा. Gradually वहां पे पहुंच जाएगा धीरे धीरे. Need to understand them correctly. So I think I explained this point. Is there any other query which I missed? I don't think I missed anything.
Sir, I think Bastrika Pranayam was my.
I'll come to that. I think any asana I was just checking. Any asana which I missed. Okay. So I'll come to that point. Now, any other asana which we are doing? Any other queries in asanas before we go to pranayama? Anyone having any question on asanas or Surya Namaskar? We got another 15 minutes time. Not there. Sorry. Yeah?
Fine, Jiva. Fine.
Okay. So then I go to Bastrika. See, Bastrika is best done in Vajrasana position. Meaning of Bastrika is bellow breathing. It is more of chest, and stomach doesn't go much in Bastrika Pranayama. So I inhale, turn to one side. See, while my consciousness, I am finishing that inhaling. I am not in a hurry to sit. Automatically वो discipline में आ गया. Then we do the prayer. In Bastrika, the thumb is inside, fingers are around the thumb. This is called which mudra? Brahma mudra. And the back of the wrist is on the thigh and close to the navel. This pressure, this mudra is kept for a purpose. If you keep this mudra, you cannot exert this mudra, there is no force. It's a relaxed mudra. The hands are not tight, it's relaxed. Whereas Brahma Mudra, thumb is inside, fingers around, back of the wrist. This is kept for a reason. Why? Because we are supposed to push this hand and lift the chest. So in Bastrika, this hand should not come up like, it will not come up. It will be resting on the thigh and you will be exerting pressure on that hand to lift the chest. That is the reason for keeping this mudra. So I keep it here. Observe. I will also show you some of the wrong techniques. I have seen some of those who are there. So I'll explain. I hope they are still there in the class. So when I do, I lift the chest, pushing this hand. See the hand doesn't go. So I'm pushing this hand. So pushing this hand, I'm lifting the chest. Did you observe? So while doing Bastrika, this hand should not look like this. No, the hand is not in the air, it's resting on the thigh. You need to observe that small difference with, I think, what's the name? Gita. I'm talking to you. So I was just observing your practice today. So you are actually, I'm not trying finding fault, don't worry. I will also make mistakes, don't worry. But we should just know the mistake and try to correct, that's all. So try to push this hand and lift the chest. Like that. I'll keep the mic away, otherwise it will be too much noise for you. Did you observe that push? Like that. So use the mudra to push the thigh and lift the chest. Okay? That's the one thing that I want to.
The hand is stationary, right? The hand is stationary. I think I was doing the mistake of
Lifting the hand. That's what. So just correct it. Remaining everything was good. Okay? Just ensure that your hands are stationary, it doesn't move, and the remaining.
the hand is stationary. Yeah, I was moving the hand for in the Brahma Mudra. Yeah, I got it.
So realizing that, definitely I'm with you. Okay, that's all what I wanted to correct it. Okay. Now the other things I think some people are doing is that shoulder moves more than the chest. Like now I'll show you another technique of some people do like this. Now here what is happening? Shoulder exercise is happening. It's not pranayama. It is shoulder exercise. That is wrong. Shoulder will move only as much as the chest goes up, like so that. Extra happening like this. This is not required. This is enough. So don't focus on shoulder much. Focus on chest. Okay? That because shoulder is not going to take the breath. The lungs are going to take the breath. Try to focus on the chest movement. Okay? That's the point. Now, another thing which I noticed is like this. Some people do like this. Now, this is what you call an arching movement. You can see. So, you will see my side. So, this bulging but arching also. My back is arching. The elbow is moving back. It will not move back in Bhastrika. Chest will go up, not arch. Don't do this. Do this. Elbow is not going back. So the arch will happen only to the extent that the chest lifts up, not beyond that. This is wrong. This is wrong. What I am showing correct is this. So that is right. So those who are doing that arching, stop it. Try to lift instead of pushing. So lift it up instead of pushing it forward. That's another correction. These are the main errors which come in Bhastrika. Don't focus much on shoulder. Don't arch the back. Push the hand and lift the chest. And don't do stomach breathing like this. Where is the chest moving? Only stomach. That's Kapalabhati. That's what we did last month. So focus on chest. Now, that's another one. Now let me see the people who are attending. So that I can do some corrections, right? Only few people are there. So some of the people who did not attend that Saturday class, I mean, there was no the more important, the last Saturday of the month. Please don't miss those classes because that's where the new set of asanas and practices are explained. If you don't attend that class, then what will happen? You will miss the whole thing. The first 1 or 2 weeks, you will find it struggling. It's very difficult to understand what is happening. And then you will make mistakes. The entire class will be disturbed. So all that will happen. So attend these classes. Some of you who are doing that, this one, threading the needle, you are doing it like this, like this only. So the issue is that you don't know that you have to bend the elbow, put the head down, the hand will be down. So this is the position of that threading the needle. So everything comes down, and that stretch is full. Looking at the hand, exhale, insert. All this it happens just because the practices were not learned properly. So just attend those classes. I think things will be right. If you attend those training sessions, it will be easy to do. Now, any other question? Another 5 to 10 minutes we have. Any questions we can discuss?
Sir, Jhana Sirsasana, I'm able to catch the leg with the hands properly, but you are able to take your head out and one of the shoulder rests on the ground, which I'm still not able to get it. I'm able to get both my small fingers pointing to the air, but I'm not able to get that shoulder to the ground.
Yeah, that's okay. So just focus on, see, when you turn, don't reach there and search for the hand. So what you have to do is, from here itself you have to start turning that. So the hand are like this. यहीं से turn चालू होगा. So it will, the palm also will turn. You see my palm, how the palm and the body, everything turns, and then the hand will come and catch. You saw that? So the left arm comes on the right side and the right arm comes on the left side. And the little fingers are up. Yeah, you corrected it, I think, today. I observed you. So that finger catching was correct. Now here, it may not happen that, but by this time, if you are able to catch the leg, the elbow will touch this leg. Elbow is enough. So if you can put this elbow, your head will go inside and you can open to the sky. If you're not able to bring the hand down, then you have to do like this, like this. This is also fine. So keep this hand on the other bicep and twist up like this. Some people, they cannot reach the leg, right? Otherwise, you have to use some strap or something to do it. With the strap also, you can try to twist. So what you can do is, from here, turn the palm, turn. It was like this, no, straight. So that's why I start with the parallel hands. Then turn. ये हाथ, दोनों हाथ turn हो जाएगा. Turn, catch. Then this elbow will be locking for Jamshirshas. Then you have to open up and inhale and look up. Like that. So try to bring this elbow. That's enough to twist properly.
I'm able to get that the actual hand movement, but elbow, it might take time. I'm just trying out. That's where I'm able to.
Yeah, it's okay. Also, you do it like this. This is also fine. Some beginners, they may not be able to catch the leg, the toe only. They may be catching here only. So try to open up like this. That's also fine. Yeah. So just gradually the hand will reach there. And gradually your other hand also will come closer. The more you twist, it will come here, you come here. Finally you will feel, I'll be able to touch like that. That's also fine.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions, anybody?
In the Brahmari Pranayama, has a teeth be closed or we can keep it open? I mean, gap between the upper jaw and the lower jaw.
Yeah, teeth has to be little gap. Mouth is closed, the lips are closed, but teeth will be little gap like 1 mm or 2 mm. And the tongue will be touching the upper palate of the mouth. Like when you say na, when you say n, no, like that, the tongue will touch up. Like so when you say in, generally the teeth will not be touching, no. Na.
Got it. Okay.
And then close the mouth. Like that. So just say N and close the mouth. Like this. So you can see while doing Brahmari, just try touching the teeth. What will happen? The vibration goes in the jaw. It goes down. So the vibration on these, sinus pockets, all these eyes, ears, that will be lost. But it will be carried away by the jaw. So don't allow that to happen. The vibration has to happen in all these pockets, sinus pockets everywhere. This line, the nasal passage, all. So it reduces the allergy and all. So as you rightly pointed out, good that you pointed it out, Muthu. So you keep the teeth little apart and do the humming sound. Like that. And try to go in the correct frequency that you like. Some of you may be like, some of you may like, all these are fine. You don't have to make a very shrill noise. So as per the things they said, whatever vibrations you like, you are able to calm, and the vibrations you are able to feel in the mind. That is the frequency that you have to use. You don't have to forcibly do a shrill frequency, not required. Generally, if it's a group room, we can match all the frequencies because that collective energy comes. But you cannot hear the other person's Brahmari. Our Brahmari is audible to our ears only, our mind only. So there is no point in matching frequency. So select a frequency which you like, so that you calm the mind and the vibrations are able to be felt in the body.
Yeah.
Any other queries, anybody? Shreya, are you having any doubts, Shreya? Or Pallavi, Shilin, Geeta? Geeta spoke already. Ranjoy?
No, I don't have any doubt, but I was just wondering.
Yeah.
You say in class many of us do dream asana. I was just wondering what that was.
Dreamasana, no?
Yes.
Dreamasana happens. So when you start dreaming in between. So I'm not saying you are doing Dreamasana. So when it happens to me also, don't worry. I may also start dreaming sometimes. Suddenly our mind gets lost in something else. And we then suddenly, I can't come back. So that dreaming, we have to come out of it. So keep the mind very attentive. Focus on the instructions, focus on the breathing, the steps. All that if it comes, the Dreamasana will not come.
This is the best question.
Okay, because every time you used to say dream asana, I used to laugh a bit.
Dreamasana is the dreaming. So even adults, I may also dream, don't worry. You have to come out of the dream world, come to the real world. Huh?
Okay.
Good question, Shreya.
Yeah. Shiva, I had that question on breathing, which you answered for me.
Yeah.
So I believe more concentration and as you said, when we are doing, we should be kind of focusing a little bit more, then the breathing will automatically come.
It will come. Yeah, it will come. Gradually it will come. So keep the mind a little more clear. Keep focusing on the count of breathing. Try to regulate the breath with the throat. Don't stretch beyond the particular limit. You keep all these things counting the breath and try to synchronize. So gradually that presence of mind will come.
Yeah,
And
presence of mind is.
the more the breath, slowness of the breath, the better the action and the better the asana effects. Because see, the physical action is compensated with slow breathing. So let us see it gradually come. So continuous practice is the key for that. Whatever theory I say, it will not come. Continuously when you do, you yourself will start discovering those techniques of slowing down. Once you know the steps, all these things will come. So I'll keep trying to channelize these things. So the time will give you.
Okay.
I think then we close. I think it's almost.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you all of you for joining.
Thank you.
Exhale to heart center. Thank you.
Thank you.
Not do the prayer because the time is up. All of you, thanks for joining.
Thank you.